Hi everyone, this video, just a short video, it's all to do with the concept of acceptance. When to draw the line, if there is a line, between accepting and challenging, and where that line is. Now, for me, acceptance is a conundrum, because it is certainly very true that in my opinion, that the first step towards spiritual development, spiritual wholeness, and truly understanding the deep essence of your being comes from accepting who we are, where we are, and why we are, and also accepting the world around us and society at large. That is a key aspect to beginning the spiritual journey. Now, of course, accepting who we are and where we are and why we are. Once we've done that, we can then begin that mission and that journey to start building our characters and develop a deeper sense of purpose. So acceptance is absolutely the first step towards a spiritual awakening. And when I talk about spiritual awakening, I'm not using myself as an example, because I wouldn't describe myself as a spiritually awake person yet. I have a long way to go. I think it's also important as well to recognize that those that are truly spiritually are completely free, albeit they're very rare. Those individuals, they can be spiritually free in even the most extreme and horrific circumstances, as history has shown us. So what's the flip side to acceptance? The flip side to acceptance is, for me, there comes a point where, and this is based on my perception, I know other people are also seeing this as well, but we are in the minority. What happens when the individual's perception of what's going on in front of them is one of a society that's rapidly degrading and regressing and is in danger of falling into the abyss, that's certainly my opinion. Opinions are based on perceptions. What then? Where does the line exist between acceptance of a situation, of an event, of a society that has become sick? Where does that line exist between that and the need to challenge, to highlight, to draw attention to it? Because again, history, whilst it may never repeat itself, certainly gives us a good guide to what the past informs the present informs the future. It certainly gives us a good guide. And the reason it does that, why patterns of behaviour are repeated, albeit events obviously are different, is that human nature stays the same. So at what point does the individual who sees this need to take responsibility for highlighting a society that is tearing itself apart and is in grave danger? And at what point should the priority of that individual move away from acceptance and towards challenging, highlighting, drawing attention to, in whatever peaceful means are possible to do that? And is that the right thing to do ultimately? Or is the right thing to do to carry on a spiritual path? How can the two exist hand in hand? How is it possible to carry on a spiritual path, to a journey up inner peace and tranquility, whilst all around is a society that's losing its mind? And another exceptionally important point to this is how, and this applies to me, it would apply to anybody, it definitely applies to me, how to ensure or be comfortable with the fact that whilst commenting and drawing attention to a society that is deeply, deeply flawed, that the individual himself or herself, so in this case me, is deeply, deeply flawed. How to go about making peace with that reality. And then finally, what if the individual is wrong and the masses are right? So these are all quandaries and conundrums and enigmas that revolve around the concept of acceptance. And in its simplest guise and its simplest form, acceptance is when to accept and when not to accept is a challenge for every human being every day. When to let the world wash over you, so as not to cause yourself any spiritual pain, and when does the time come where for the individual's moral compass would determine that something needs to be challenged. So this is an important question to deal with, particularly at the moment. So I'd be interested to hear anybody's thoughts on that. What do you think about what I've just said? Can you relate to any of the questions and the material that I've just talked about there? And what are your opinions on it? And I'll just say as well, for anybody who would like to see more of this type of content that I'm creating at the moment, anybody who's interested in the individual's place within the world and how they can affect and change and bring about a change for good in a world that's increasingly tending towards a destructive groupthink. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, then please subscribe to the channel. I would massively appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up or a comment as well if you feel like it. And I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.